Other things, there's some real potentials for other things. Besides spending time with the boys, we're gonna be able to take a trip down to the Genocide Memorial in Kigali, learn a little bit more of that. We're gonna show you where the street children live. You're gonna walk where they live. You're gonna see them and smell the smells, and you'll get your heart busted too, and that's okay. It's a good thing, you know. And then my admiration for Jean-Paul goes up every time I think of it, because he's the one that literally goes on the streets and befriends these kids. It's not an overnight deal. You don't just walk down and say, hey kid, want to come to my house? Because they're sexually abused, they're used, they're fearful, nobody's ever loved them before genuinely, so why would they trust this stranger who comes down? So he goes down repeatedly, he hangs out with them. He said if he lets them know what is available, if they would like to come, they're free. We would bring them back if they don't want to stay. But it's a process that he befriends them, and he actually has to make decisions. I don't know how he does it. I think God has created him with that ability. You know, me, I'm just going to be like, no decision, everybody comes. Yeah. Figure out what to do. You know, it would be a chaos. It would be a chaotic disaster. God has the right man in the right places, you know, and so that's kind of the process of how these kids actually get invited to the home. He goes into Kigali, an hour and a half away, and hangs out and invites them. So you will be able to see where they live, what they do. We hope to do some outreaches to the village we're in. The village we're in is called Bimana. It means for God. An interesting name. I like it. Wonderful. The kids, the moment the taxi drives up the dirt little road and we get to the home, you will have 100 kids there looking at you, wanting to touch you, we'll make sure you're real, you know, wanting you to pick them up. It's incredibly beautiful. The home is not a compound. It's not separated. We haven't built big walls and barbed wire around it to keep the boys' home separate from the village. We want to make the boys accessible to the kids in the village, even the little kids, teaching our boys how to care for those little kids, how to treat them, play with them, etc. We bring them in so they can play with our equipment and our games, and you know they're going to be there. We do some clothing and program for them. We'll probably buy at least a bale of clothes in Kigali and bring it out and distribute it, as well as shoes. We have some ideas about doing some other things, maybe some tutoring in English, things like that. There's opportunities to do that one-on-one, whether it's programmed or not. Go for it. You know, what I tell people on the trip is go for it if God's showing you some stuff. But we hope to do that. It'll depend on the team makeup, some of the projects that we may or may not be able to do. Unlike maybe other short-term mission trips that maybe you're familiar with, we do not do work projects per se. We don't go there to do work. We'd rather hire a Rwandan to do the work and pay them and help them make a living for their family. So that I don't need to spend $2,000 and get on a plane ride and go lay bricks for them. You know, as humbling and proper as that sounds, it's like, no, I'm taking bread out of somebody's mouth. So we're very aware of that. We would, if there is something that we can get a Rwandan, an indigenous person to do, we're going to ask them and we're going to hire it out. We'll figure out a way to get the money. I'd rather do it that way. So again, it may get a little frustrating. You may want to do more things and feel like, what am I doing? You're getting your heart soaked and getting understanding of what's going on and what the potential inside you is for making a difference. And some of you that are sponsors, you know, you will see, oh my gosh, this is it, you know, and you will be addicted to it like I am. So those are some of the possibilities of being able to go, what we'd be doing. Is there any particular cultural differences that you feel like you want to bring up now that are of importance right now?
I was looking at this and something came up. I have no watch. So once you land there, forget about it. Put them in your bags. No watch. It's you can see that it's hard for us to keep the schedule, and that's very frustrating, especially when you get there and you say, "When are we having dinner?" So around 12. And now you get 4, no dinner yet. So basically, yeah, there's a few things that are maybe frustrating, but I guess it's also some of the, it comes with some understanding and where people have been, and sometimes it's hard, you know, to walk in somebody's shoes really without getting used to it. So it's there. You know, that's just one example of something that may frustrate you a little bit, but not to scare you. We'll try our best to really. That's why Jean-Paul has been here. He's been watching you. So if you, I was telling him,
trying to learn our
find
culture,
out where to buy ice cream, pizza, all those things. So yeah, we'll try our best to really make your trip as comfortable as we can. But again, some unpredicted situation may happen, and your patience would be highly.
I don't think most of the people that go want an American trip anyway. I think we do want to experience the culture and go at a different pace. And talking is important. The first time that myself and another young man went and with Yohani and met his mom and his family, you know, we'd stop and make visits, and we would joke with each other, is this going to be an American visit or is this a Rwandan visit? A Rwandan visit's a couple hours and you're going to get a drink and something to eat. You know, you're just going to hang out. You know, and an American visit, if you're moving somewhere else in destination, it's about a half hour, you're going to wave, hi, how you doing? Great, praise God, see you later. You know? So I got very used to Rwandan visits, so it is a different pace. It's probably what attracts me.
And maybe also another thing is it's very important to communicate with somebody like Jean-Paul so that he can explain to you when you're interacting with the local people, the kids. They tell you exactly what they expect, how they view you, so that you really know how you are perceived in that kind of situation. There are something that we're trying to discourage, and I told Bruce, I shared with him, everybody thinks that this American, by the way, they're called Muzungu. This Muzungu comes from America to just money, you know, dollars. And we're trying to discourage that. We do not want to, encourage people to be just, you know, giving people, kids, because they would be running after you asking money. And if there is anything, we would rather organize in a team kind of, and then do it together with the people, and maybe give it to the boys and let them share with the neighbors.
That's what we did with the clothing a lot.
You as a Muzungu handing up something. That, I mean, it's something that we would maybe like to see happening.
And I noticed a tremendous